Hello everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations, and you're with Simon today. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the astrology for February 2019, the 27th. But we're going to be looking at some astrological weather that's been taking place over the last week, and maybe just kind of sharing some of my thoughts and insights on what's been taking place, and the changes that I'm sure every single one of you are on some level feeling, and just kind of making some sense of it. So, as always, I like to use some imagery to capture the essence of how I relate to the astrology. And if we study this picture over here, I've chosen these mountains that have got a very clear, you can see there's a lot of geographical movement where the earth has shaped itself through stress and tension to create lines and crevices, and you can see that this energy that has and was part of the earth at this point, or at some point a long time ago, had stress at it, but it also created this cavern, this valleyway that you can see running down the middle of this area here, right? And night sky as well, and this illuminating light that sits over there. And I feel that the passage that we're kind of moving through right now, with a lot of shifts, Uranus just about to enter Taurus, Chiron entering Aries, Pluto and Venus making conjunctions together, Mercury, Neptune making a conjunction together, and of course this most recent Mars-Uranus conjunction as well. A lot of outer planetary energies making contacts to inner planetary energies, and this interface between something that's more, that's not our ego, that's not what we can sense and feel with our five senses, but invisible forces that are essentially the energy that moves the nature of reality, from behind the scenes. So when you look at this mountain range over here, you just see the shape of it. But when you connect with the essence of what formed that, there's an energetic vibration that moved through this, that shifted and shaped the way that this mountain range came to be at this place. And I see that the light is a reflection of these deep changes occurring for us. And while we're kind of enduring this and in this place, we're feeling uncertainty, we're feeling a sense of anxiety, we're feeling like, there's lots of changes, where's my security? Lots of things are shifting, and it can be easy to feel as if there is no hope, or it's meaningless, or things can't change. And that light represents this process of illumination to me, that there's always at the end of the process something that will be revealed, and there's an idea of being open to what that experience will eventually reveal itself to at the end of this phase, through this kind of earthquakey type of energy pattern that we're kind of going through, and if we can hold that within our awareness as we move through these difficult energy shifts and big emotions arising to the surface, and knowing that there is a purpose behind it, it can always be comforting. So let's go ahead and actually have a look at the chart itself. And here you can see what I'm talking about with all the planets in Capricorn, right? And there is Pluto and there's Venus. So over the last week, Venus and Pluto made a conjunction, which I'm sure every single one of you felt deep, intense emotions coming to the surface, processing through, and I like this picture again as well, because when you connect with the intimate part of Capricorn, it is the framework for which the material plane is established, and within the context, hidden within the material plane, are pockets of emotional memories. So with Venus moving across Pluto at this stage, it was kind of like our internal relationship was really pulled to the depths of our own subterranean level of awareness and psyche, and we were really awakened to subtle energies in our body field that have been there, that we might not necessarily always pay attention to, because a lot of our focus is very much conditioned by and pulled into the moment of Saturnian realms, right? Very much time orientated. Got to do this to survive, versus becoming still enough to sense these subtle energies that we carry with us. And so when we look at this conjunction of Mercury and Neptune that took place also, today Venus, sorry, not Venus, but the Sun is approaching Neptune. But at the time of this Mercury-Venus conjunction, Mercury-Neptune conjunction, there was a lot of, information around becoming sensitive to the subtle mind stream, the subtle bodies, the subtle levels of mental thought patterns that you would have about yourself and about life that would originate from the deep core Plutonian abandonment or trauma, or an experience that was deeply, deeply intertwined within your soul's evolution. And it doesn't have to be something traumatic. It just could be like an empowerment phase, like a choice to empower oneself. And this Neptune-Mercury contact was really subtly allowing us to be sensitive to those streams so that we could pay attention to something that was occurring and manifesting deeper within us. It was almost like being able to be sensitive enough to the vibrations within the energetic field and allowing us to awaken storylines that run in the background, like scripts that we run in the background that prevent us from fully, stepping into deeper layers of power, right? So now with the Sun about to move over that Neptune area and Venus and Pluto finishing its conjunction, it's still in a new phase conjunction, but finished its most intense crisis conjunction, you can see that there is a movement towards integration, right? A movement towards trying to find meaning or sense meaning or navigate meaning while there is another huge planetary conjunction taking place, which of course is the Uranus over here at 29 degrees, and it's squaring the Venus at 27 degrees Capricorn, right? So there's that square that's taking place. So Venus moves past Pluto, and then it moves into the square with Uranus, and Uranus kind of subtly but very, very effectively bringing memory to the surface. And depending on where you are, if you're in a state of post-traumatic stress response, then this Uranian field connecting to Venus can be very, very unstable. It can be very, very uncomfortable because you're now beginning to process and become awake and aware to these subtle story threads and scripts that are running in the background. And then, of course, with this conjunction of Pluto and Venus, the memories of these deep, uncomfortable wounds that exist within the crevice of our subterranean field. So there's this journey that we're on at the moment, this landscape, and sometimes the areas of super soft and snow that sits over here on the picture, if you can see it over there where I'm pointing to, right? It's soft, it's smooth, but then there's also rigidity that exists over there as well, that sharpness, that bumpiness. And this beautifully expresses the landscape of our emotional passage in life as moments of extreme bumpiness and uncomfortableness led to moments in which there is just, a sense of calmness and softness about experiences. And the blending of the two as this inner landscape within our emotional body begins to reconstruct itself with these planetary energies shifting and awakening and subtly causing shifts into our awakened self so that we can then, begin to process that. And that's really much the point of what I see with this energy at the moment. Is it's really intense, it's really deep, it's really illuminating, and it's not something to be played with. I think it's something that you need a tremendous amount of time to really look after yourself, a tremendous amount of time to really get into a state of comfortability and self-care, and to give yourself as much space as possible to process what is occurring at such an intensely deep level within our own subconscious mind. So that's my take on the energy at this moment in time. I hope that kind of provides some value or some essence to you. And if that is the case and you feel like sharing it, I encourage you to do that in the comments, because loads of other people feel validated when they know that there are other people that are kind of similarly experiencing things, and that, whatever it is that you like to share, it's always, I'm sure, on some level appreciated by another person. So if you are called to do that, share your experiences in the comments. So one thing that I wanted to point out to everybody over here is that these energies over here, right, this Uranus at 29 degrees and Mars has also been moving across this area here, okay, for the last week as well. And this is the last thing I want to talk about because it's a really deep subject, and I'll talk about it more in the Uranus into Taurus live stream, which we'll be doing next week, around the conjunction that these planets are making to Chiron's nodal axis, right? Chiron's actual north and south node, these points where Chiron's orbit, interfaces with Earth's ecliptic. So we're looking at where the evolutionary trajectory and sensitive points of Chiron are actually pulling us to. So it's all good that we look at Chiron in Aries and it's like, okay, this is where Chiron is, but we need to have, I believe, focus on the axis of Chiron's actual evolutionary intention so that we can then integrate the actual natal placement of Chiron, which is in Aries at the moment. So there's a lot more deeper things that are occurring for us right at the moment, and you can see them show up with the north node of Chiron representing something of this healing around the merging of science and art, and dealing with the ability to recognize the resources that we have within inside of ourselves and to awaken these deep resources, because the node also moves. Chiron's node is in Libra, but it's also in Capricorn, Scorpio as well. So it's this, this theme, which I'll definitely go deeper into, but there's this clear theme right at the moment as well of really coming into and incarnating the way that we relate to human beings and to ourselves and to life, and the deep transformation and metamorphosis that actually occurs when we're stepping into that space of trying to understand our own relationship to the cosmos. And I think that this is something that also is very highlighted at this stage, where we can awaken to deeper layers of our own cosmic understanding and to begin accessing and tapping into streams of awareness that, are essentially being transmitted from different star fields and different galaxies that are awakening or have the potential to awaken into the human's mind stream and consciousness stream. And we're far away from that at this point in time, but it's there and it's able for us to do that. And it's a very beautiful thing to begin to tap into the subtle awareness that Chiron's nodal axis is actually revealing to us, and what the healing journey is about for us at this moment in time, or in this epoch of consciousness. So just kind of like sharing a little bit about where my thoughts are and what I'm tapping into at the moment with the Chiron, and I'm super excited to share that as it connects with Uranus making contact to those nodes as well. Okay. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you in another video.